My name is Emma and I will be doing a presentation on the dodo bird. The dodo bird is classified under the class Aves, the order Columbiformes, the family Columbidae, the subfamily Rhaphinae, the genus Rhaphis, and the species Arcuculatus. The class Aves includes all birds, a group all adapted to fly. The order Columbiformes is a group of birds containing pigeons, doves, dodo, and solitaires. The family, Columbidae, is the family of doves and pigeons, where the subfamily, Rhaphinae, is a clade of extinct flightless birds, the dodo, and solitaires. The genus Rhaphis means the bustard, and includes the dodo and the reunion solitaire. Finally, the species Arcuculatus is the dodo bird, where cuculatus means hooded. Their common name, dodo, has multiple possible origins. It is possible that it came from Portuguese mariners or from the Dutch sailors. The Portuguese mariners visited Mauritius in 1507 and called the bird Dodo, which means fool or crazy. The Dutch sailors colonized the island in 1598 and called the bird Dodorezen, which means fat behind. There is also a possibility that the dodo was an onomatopoeia of the bird's call, which may have resembled the two-note coo that male band-tailed pigeons make to attract mates. The dodo bird was first discovered by Portuguese mariners who visited the island of Mauritius around 1507. In 1598, Dutch sailors colonized the island. This is where most of the documentation of the dodo bird came from. Through the colonization of the Dutch on the island Mauritius, the dodo bird was extinct by 1681. Fossils have been found on the island, mainly at a 4,000-year-old fossil bed at Mero-Sange in southeastern Mauritius. An exceptional combination of abiotic conditions led to preservation of fossils, but DNA from the dodo has proved difficult. The closest relative to the dodo bird is the Rodriguez solitaire in the subfamily Rhaphinae, but in the family Columbidae, the dodo's closest relatives include not only the Rodriguez solitaire, but also the Nicobar pigeon, the Victoria crown pigeon, and the tooth-billed pigeon. The dodo bird can be found on the island Mauritius, which is in the Indian Ocean, located off the eastern coast of Africa. Virtually no records of the pre-human ecosystem of the island Mauritius exist, but Mauritius once consisted of almost an entirely dense forest of ebony and bamboo. From analysis, it was suggested that rising sea levels created a freshwater lake at Mero-Sange, creating an oasis of a dry environment. This oasis attracted a diverse vertebrate fauna, including the dodo bird. The landscape was covered by dry forest, marsh, and wet forest. The attraction of a mixed plant community, coupled with permanent standing water in an otherwise seasonally dry area, would explain why this environment was conducive to sustain a large population of dodo birds. The dodo bird weighed around 50 pounds, a bit bigger than a turkey, had blue-gray plumage, a large head, a reddish-colored sheath forming the hook tip of its 9-inch blackish bill, small wings, sturdy yellow legs, and a high tuft of curly feathers on its back. The female dodo was around half the size of the male. To add, the dodo had an annual cycle with its weight, where they were plump for several months and relatively slender the rest of the year. This would have given them a survival advantage when cyclones hit the island between November and March. The dodo bird had fast growth. The breeding season for the dodo bird began around August. When the chicks hatched, they grew very quickly into their adult body size, where they attained sexual maturity before the summer began. After summer passed, molting began around March with the replacement of the feathers of the wings and the tail. The molt would be complete in July, allowing the bird to have a chance to fatten up to be ready for the next breeding season to begin. It has been suggested that the male dodo could reach the age of 21 and the female age 17, but these are estimates based off of weight. It is likely that the dodo bird ate fruits, nuts, and seeds from the forest floor, as well as seafood items such as shellfish and crabs that could be found on the shoreline. Dodos also swallowed stones to help with digestion, like many of today's birds. The stones were retained in the dodo's muscular gizzard, where they help grind up fibrous material. Synapomorphies are shared by a group of organisms due to a common ancestor. For the dodo, these traits are linked to its placement within the family Columbidae. Some of the key synapomorphies include a short curved beak, modified for feeding habits shared with pigeons, a robust skull structure, similar to pigeons that was adapted for eating seeds and fruits, crop and gizzard development, a digestive system specialized for processing tough plant material, and soft downy feathers, which is a similar plumage seen in related pigeons. Autapomorphies are traits that are unique to the dodo and distinguish it from other pigeons and birds. Some of the key autapomorphies include flightlessness. The dodo bird has a complete loss of flight due to the reduction in wing size and robustness of the leg bones, which are adaptations for a terrestrial lifestyle. Large body size. A significant increase in weight and size compared to most Columbidae, an adaptation to the lack of predators on Mauritius. Bill shape and feeding habits. Dodo has a unique hooked bill adapted for consuming tough fruits. And simplified keel structure. Reduction in the breastbone keel, reflecting its loss of flight muscles. Plesiomorphies are primitive traits inherited from distant ancestors shared across broader taxa. Some of the key plesiomorphies include bipedal stance, which is an ancestral bird trait shared across columbiforms. Four-toed feet, a characteristic of most birds. Generalized digestive system. While it has been modified, the digestive system still retains the basic avian structure found in its relatives. And feathered body covering, which is a fundamental avian trait. The dodo bird evolved on the island Mauritius, where its ancestors diverged into the dodo and the solitaire on two separate islands. The dodo had a large bill and a hooked tip as its only defense. Due to there being no mammalian predators and being fruit eaters, they grew to fly less and walk more. Their size increased drastically, where they therefore lost their ability to fly. The dodo bird went extinct in 1681 due to human extermination, therefore there are no descendants. The dodo bird has been widely misunderstood as the very emblem of ineptitude or an evolutionary clown, but that is far from the case. The birds were fast and agile and have been doing their thing quite well for the past 12 million years. The extinction of the dodo bird is frequently noticed as one of the most well-known examples of human-induced extinction. Its ancestor first appeared on Earth more than 25 million years ago. The dodo bird was discovered in 1507, but quickly went extinct in 1681 due to human extermination, vanishing from the island Mauritius, the only place it ever existed. It is important to understand the effect humans have on the ecosystem and environment after colonization. The dodo bird should be used as an example for understanding the delicate balance of our ecosystems, and how rapidly humans can modify and even exterminate organisms in our environment in a matter of years. A quote from Julian Hume, an avian paleontologist at the Natural History Museum in London, said of the dodo, "Perhaps no creature has been so widely written about, yet so poorly understood."